Okay, so while I wait for some people to come in, this is my first proper live stream. Just for the replay, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. The like button really helps with the algorithm, tells YouTube to put the video out to other people, along with leaving the comments below the videos. I see I've got 2 people watching. 3. If you'd like to tell me where you're from, where you're watching from, be quite interesting. Or if you've got any questions. Scared one away. I don't know if I've started doing live streams too soon. Mind you, it's only the first one. You don't know, do you? It's been a bit of a week. I had a couple of issues with the bus, as you'd have seen in my last video if you watched that. Issues with my bike. That's gone to the garage today. Had to call the AA out to get it towed. Or carried. I need to get out and do some metal detecting for my 3rd channel. But the weather's been a bit pants in it, so... Down to 1. Always wait for a bit. If no one joins, I'll knock it on the head. Hello, West Sussex busboy. How am I today? I'm fine, thank you. Yourself? Apart from issues with my bike, of course. Are you a driver yourself? I see you've got the Metro Bus logo. Are you a Metro Bus driver? Not a driver, just an enthusiast. What's happened to my bike? Well, I don't know. Before Christmas, it started cutting out with all that rain we had. Started working again. And last week, it just wouldn't start at all. So suddenly remembered today that I have breakdown cover with my bank account. So I got them out and they took it to the garage. So hopefully I'll get it back in the next couple of days. The AA man thinks that water's been getting in the fuel. So don't know. I'm not very mechanically minded, so I've no idea how that could happen. But it is a right royal pain in the rear end. Yeah, vehicles are most definitely a pain. Whether they're big or small, they're most definitely a pain. And expensive. But the bike's still under warranty, so it shouldn't cost me anything. So apart from the service, it's going to do a service as well. So, which it's due a service. It is bang on. It's time for a service. So yeah, the last thing I want is to get it back and then for it to die again. That would be very annoying. So it's a difference of 20 minutes getting to and from work on the bike or up to an hour and a half on the bus. So obviously, I'd much rather use the bike. Have you had a good day? Yeah, there's two staff buses in the morning. One's at 4:05. The other is 5:15. So if I start sort of 5:30 or earlier, I have to get up at 3 to get the 4 o'clock staff bus. If I start at 6 or 7, I have to get the 5:15 staff bus. especially on a Sunday, which is really annoying because there isn't a bus before 7:30, 8 o'clock. So because we don't need to get about on a Sunday. I had a little jolly out on the 700 earlier. Yeah, Sundays are always a bit slower, but you still need to get to work sometimes. So it just means I get to work very early, which obviously when the bike's working, I can leave normal time and it's no big deal. All right, where's the 410 go? Is that the Worthing to Crawley one? Oh, right, okay. Obviously, I am not an enthusiast. I've thought about getting the 23 up to Crawley, but it's a fair way, and I don't know how long it takes. I've always said I envy the enthusiasts that are bus drivers because they have something that I don't have. It's a hobby for them. Like they truly love it. Whereas me, it's a job. It's not bad. 1.5 hours, shorter than a two to Stenning. Mind you, by the time I get into Worthing, probably looking at 2 hours. So, do you get on the Brighton and Hove buses much? You coming down Saturday just for the day out? I'm off on holiday this week, so good week to go and get my bike fixed. and I'm thinking if the weather's okay to go for a little photo walk around Shoreham. I did Rottingdean a little while ago, so all right, on the 14th. I know roughly where that goes. I know it's the Peacehaven one, but only it goes along the seafront. Once it gets to Peacehaven, not so sure. Nice little run though, along the seafront. I quite like Peacehaven. I used to live there years ago. No, I haven't actually. I've thought about it. Obviously, when I've been to Crawley, to County Mail up there, I think their garage is somewhere near there. I'm not even sure exactly where the garage is, but um, yeah, I've not actually been on any metro bus routes. I've never needed to really. All right, Wheatstone Close. I might go for a little jolly up there with my camera, see what's about. If I take photos of buses, it's more for the photography side of it. Um, as we've established, I'm not an enthusiast, so I don't really know what I'm looking at. No, I don't know what a hydroliner is. I'm assuming it's a bus. The only buses that I know Metro Bus have got are they used to be Brighton and Hove buses. Hello, Nick. You all right? All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine, thanks, Nick. Had to take the bike to the garage today or get it towed, but apart from that, but at least it means that it's going to get fixed. So the Omni Cities, are they the ones that are now at Metrobus? Um, any good places in Brighton that are good for taking pictures of buses? Yeah, down by the Royal Pavilion. Obviously, nice backdrop. Lots of buses go past there. Most of them go past there. Um, down by the pier, with the pier in the background, or facing the other way with the old Steen in the background. The clock tower. Obviously, the you've got the clock tower in the background, and a lot of people take photos there of buses. Whitehawk Garage used to have them with the 27 livery. Oh, right, okay. Well, before I left, they were on the fives. I didn't even know they'd gone until I came back. So they're a nice bus to drive. I did enjoy driving them. Do I like being spotted? Yeah, I don't mind it. I can't say I've ever been one looking for fame or anything like that. But yeah, I just find it funny when someone recognises me. Oh, right, okay. Well, I had the fives, then the twos, then the 27s. Yeah, Brighton and Hove like to move their buses about a bit. But I remember when we first got them, we had a driver actually say that they were close to being the perfect bus. But yeah, I remember they were nice to drive. Have I spotted the brand new MMCs? No, I haven't. I haven't seen any of the new buses yet. I know they were meant to be coming to Conway Street for the sixes, but I don't know where they're going now. I've not seen the actual ones we're getting. As far as I'm aware, they're the same as what Stagecoach have on the 700s. Um, they were originally meant to be going on the sixes, but who knows? Yeah, I quite like the new vehicle smell. Um, and it's always nice when they're quieter. When they're nice and new and they're nice and quiet, they're not rattling around. It's nice that that's the trouble with the old Scanias. They rattle around a bit and they're not very comfortable. And when you've done 4+ hours on them, you know you've been driving one. Need some newer buses from Brighton and Hove. Well, seeing as they're the same company, I'm surprised they don't invest a little bit in Metrobus. Um, Metrobus is a big company in itself, isn't it? So I don't know why they don't, but they just seem to throw everything brand new. Brighton and Hove. Well, they used to anyway because they like the tech, but yeah, no, not so much. They seem to be getting other companies knockdowns at the moment, apart from these new ones that are coming. Yeah, I don't think I know too much about those. Their own nine plates, they're tired and uncomfortable. Well, yeah, I mean they are getting old now. Obviously, like every bus, when they're new, they're all nice and shiny and comfortable. As they get older, not so much so. Yeah. Um, report it to the driver. It might get fixed if the one of the seats is loose. They're not meant to be loose, but older vehicles and all that. Metrobus have just spent 22 million on some new right buses. Um, I quite like the ones we've got, the low 400s. Um, they do what you tell them to do when you tell them to do it. Only one set of doors, which is a big plus. Um, the only downside with them is you get a slight lag when you put your foot on the accelerator. So when you get to a roundabout and you see a gap, you put your foot on the accelerator, nothing happens for a second. By then, the gap's gone, but the bus has started to go. It's a bit of a pain. You have to sort of anticipate that. Yeah, I imagine they are a bit like our 600 series Scanias, the Omni Deckers. Very old. Um, yeah, I'm not sure which buses they're gonna start getting rid of next. I know we're short of buses at the moment, so um, and I know they're looking at getting rid of the 600 series. Um, so they'll be the first to go. Quite what will go next, I don't know. Hopefully the hybrids or the ones that are on the sevens. They're hard work to drive. Oh, is that the single deck ones? The B7 RLEs? There was one surprise actually that I found when I did come back. The fact that we'd got rid of all the single deckers. Um, it was very bizarre because obviously we get a lot of wind along the cliffs, and before I left, if it was really bad weather, they'd put the single deckers on the 12s and the 14s and move the double decks in a city. But I was very surprised that we didn't have any single decks. So I'm not surprised they've started bringing some back. I would imagine that we're going to end up with more than two. We do have routes that just don't need a double deck, so who knows? Yeah, the two single deckers that ran the 18 and 25s. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're best suited for the 25s because that's a busy old route. The 18s, I can see that. Um, the 21s, there are routes that are better suited for a single decker. The B7 are being replaced by hydroliners. So Brighton and Hove are getting six of them. Okay, that makes sense. I wonder what route they'll put them on. Yeah, they weren't too bad. The single deckers we had, the Omni Links, Not my favourite. My favourite were the old Volvos we had, single deck Volvos. They were great. They were quick, plenty of power, light steering. The only downside was they had a big tail swing. But yeah, they were great buses. Yeah, I think we need some new training buses. I've only driven one of them when I rejoined Brighton and Hove, the Trident, and yeah, it's an old bus. Yeah, the Volvos with the two livery are among the most hated buses amongst the drivers because they're hybrids and they're not the best to drive. Um, if you ever do a two route from the bingo hall up to the race hill, it's quite easy to see what I'm referring to. They really struggle. If you're lucky, you get a good one and you get up the hill okay, but yeah. And they don't particularly like going down that hill either. You braking, and as you come into a stop, the brakes snatch. So yeah, they're not the best. How you see, you're getting a driver's perspective. I see. You're missing out. You're missing out on the fun of going up the hill to the race course. You should do it one day and switch on to the 21 at the top. Yeah, you do that, Nick, and you'll see what I mean. Unless you get the odd good one. Like I say, there is the odd good one that flies up there, but trust me, you start going up the hill, and the last thing you want is for a car to come down or someone to press a bell for the stop, because once you stop, they really struggle to get going again. I've had one of them go down to around 2 or 3 mile an hour at the top, and I was actually thinking, I'm not sure it's going to make it. Which I'm not sure what they would do about that actually. Oh, I couldn't tell you which one's the worst because they're all pretty much the same. I should really make a note of the good one. I think it's something along the lines of 430-ish. I think the ones above 430 are generally okay. The ones below it, of the hybrids, yeah. Yeah, the ones at Whitehawk are 440. I think the Brighton and Hove, what's it start at? Don't know actually. What does it start at? I don't know. I'll have to make a note of them. All right, yeah, you could be right, but I'm not sure. If I'm honest, quite often I don't even know what bus I'm driving, which is a bit of a pain when they're calling my bus number and I'm totally ignoring them. I have to actually check. What route do I like the most? I think possibly the 5Bs for the route. If you miss Varndine College, the route itself is pretty simple. No, nothing too tight. Um, I don't mind the sevens. Nice short run, nice and easy, although busy. But the day goes quick when you're busy, so yeah, probably those two. Hello, UK bus photography. '21s is your favourite. Yeah, again, hello, Brian Archibald and James Philbeam. Pil- Pilbeam. Um, how many routes? How many routes do I do on one day? Does it depend? It really does depend. Um, Quite often you have one route on your first half, a different route on your second half. So fives is generally counted as one route. So you could do up to Hardwick as a 5B, out to Mackey as a 5, back as a 5A. Um, and then your second half could be twos, sixes, sevens, whatever, or vice versa. So, oh, where are we? Good evening, Brian. How are you? Uh, where are we on the comments? What do I think of the Brighton and Hove rebrand? Um, I think it was needed, um, or at least freshening up. Um, I was looking up Queens Road the other day, actually, the other week, and we had a number of buses up there, all with different liveries, and I just thought it doesn't look good. Um, so yeah, well, once the entire fleet is in one livery, it'll look a lot better, a lot neater. I'm very well, thank you, Brian. How are you? Where are you guys watching from? Just out of interest. I think I need to get some new glasses. Your whole family's Polish, but you were born in Brighton. Okay. Watching from central Scotland. Wow. Okay. Bletchingley. Okay. Scattered about a bit. I find it quite interesting. I'll quite often go into my analytics just to see where people are watching from, and it staggers me actually. Like I've got people from all over the world that have watched. So, like Australia, America, obviously mainly in England, a lot of Asian countries, Russia, um, which is sort of staggering, really. Um, so yeah, I just find it interesting. And obviously, I've got my other two channels as well. So one of which is my main channel, not my main channel, my original channel. There's all sorts of stuff on there, um, including some paranormal videos. I've been dabbling my hand with the paranormal, so I do that. Um, it was Paranormal Paul, who's also a bus driver at Brighton and Hove, who does nights. He inspired me to try that. So that can be quite interesting sometimes. And obviously, my third channel is well, it's gonna be magnet fishing and metal detecting, inspired by a channel that I come across on YouTube, which again I just found really interesting. Some of the stuff they were finding. You always wanted to get into urban exploring and paranormal activity investigation. Yeah, it's interesting. I have always believed in something after death for the simple reason there's no such thing as nothing. Um, so there must be something after death. Quite what it is, obviously, I don't know. Um, but the investigations that I've done, they're relatively small scale, but um, yeah, it's some interesting activity. Uh, Especially the video I did with Paranormal Paul, where we went to a graveyard and even before we started recording, we walked into the graveyard, shut the gate behind us, obviously, got maybe 200 yards into the graveyard, and the gate slammed behind us, even though we'd already shut it. And we both span around and we're like, what the freaking heck was that? And yeah, it was at that moment we both said, like, we need to start recording. And yeah, we got some interesting activity. I'm glad it makes you happy that um, I'm on YouTube and I'm near you. And yeah, you're always welcome to leave a question in the comments, or when I do a live, come on and ask questions. I'll always answer them honestly, for better or worse. Obviously, I do have to watch what I say a little bit, but I will always be honest. But yeah, I am planning on going out to do some more paranormal stuff. Um, that's a good question. That is something they will not tell us about until the last minute. I would imagine they will be. Um, they do like to have a new fleet and keep up with the low to zero emissions. They do like things to be nice and shiny, all new, nice and shiny. So I would imagine so. I'd imagine that I did hear actually that they don't want anything older than, what was it, 10 to 12 years old, something like that. So obviously they're going to constantly keep renewing if that's the case. Obviously, I don't know if that's true. There's hearsay, so yeah, I'd imagine some of them will go up north. Apparently, we've got some hydrogen buses coming. Christ knows when. I know they part of the development at Conway Street is to have a place where hydrogen buses can be fueled. Yeah, the website's good, but they won't put anything on there that they don't want us to know. So, future plans and stuff, who knows? Quite often it's in the August before we find out. Yeah, I think they're planning on getting rid of all those novelty buses. They look a bit of a mess now, and I think they're all going to be in the same livery, apart from possibly the Brighton and Hove Albion ones that are contracted to the football club. Yes, they certainly did. It is currently sat in the East Garage at Conway Street. And oddly, in my last video, I referenced not being able to get to my bus in the morning. It was because it was parked right next to that open topper. No, I don't know what's going on with the fleet transfers. Like I say, I only found out, was it last week? Maybe the week before, the new buses that were getting that were meant to be going on the sixes are now apparently going to Lewis Road, I think, or New Haven, one or the other. Um, so yeah, I've no idea what's going on, and in all honesty, until it happens, it's all likely to change anyway. Yeah, that open topper certainly did transfer from Oxford, and I have no idea why we've got it. I would imagine it would be to get rid of the old 900 that's on the city sightseeing, but I don't know. I would imagine the open top will have the city sightseeing livery because that's contracted by the council. It's not an actual Brighton and Hove route. And I think most city sightseeing around the country will have a similar sort of livery, or the ones I've seen. I think Bournemouth and a few others are slightly different, but I think that's the standard livery. Yeah, the old Scanias are going. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think all the Omni Deckers will be going at some point because they're extremely old, extremely uncomfortable, um, and they're just struggling now. Yeah, those Volvos, I think they're my favourite ones that we've got at the moment. They're nice to drive. I don't think there's any drivers that will miss the Omni Deckers. They're okay when they first come. They've outstayed their welcome. That's how we feel about the Omni Deckers. So tell me, why? channel is also a photography channel. I went on a photo walk around Rottingdean to just have a little look around. Really, I go over there all the time, and I thought I'd take my camera over there. So, what other route do you think would be good to go for a photo walk on? Where would you like to see? Hello, Paul. How are you? um, that's a very good question, Paul. Obviously, they've already replaced you, so you're okay. Um, as for me, who knows? Who knows? You still in Ireland, Paul? Coastal routes would be interesting to see. It's got the new bus. Yeah. Whereabouts? What little towns or villages along the way would you recommend? I should really get a pen and bit of paper, shouldn't I? Yeah, I saw you had a nice visit when you first got to Derry, but you got an extended 2 week holiday. Head into Crawley on the 270. East Grinstead. East Grinstead, you reckon? Um, East Dean and Burling Gap. I can't come to Compass, Paul. I can't afford it. I can't afford the pay cut. Joe went to Compass. He went to Lewis, but then he lives in Lewis, doesn't he? So yeah, I think the 12A goes round Burling Gap as well. What bus goes to the Ashdown Forest? Yeah, Stagecoach got a few drivers from us as well. All right, 270. Well, I never thought I'd hear you say that, Paul, that you miss Brighton and Hove. And you wouldn't be sorry the Scanias are going if you'd driven one recently. Mind you, the buses you've got at Compass aren't much better, are they? (291) goes straight to Ashdown Forest. You don't miss Brighton? What's wrong with Brighton? Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, Nick. Although I'm not sure how it would get major structural issues, but unless it's hit something. Alexander Dennis seems to be doing very well out of the bus companies at the moment. Oh, really? What happened? West Sussex bus boy. 670 was reported for that. All right, okay. It doesn't surprise me. They are very old. Things do go wrong. So just look at my bike. It's less than a year old and it's in the garage getting fixed. Okay, guys, I'm going to call this one here. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I will be doing another one. As I said in the video, I will be doing a live on a Wednesday, work permitting. If I can go live at work, I will. But it's going to be very hit and miss. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll get notified when I'm going to go live. So thanks for joining me. It's, as I say, it's been a pleasure. Nice to talk to you, Paul, as well. It's been a while. So yeah, I'll see you all again next time. And please do remember to share the videos.